Hey guys, how's it going? This is DoA. I decided I would go ahead and make a guide on the Mage deck that some of you have been asking about. It's called the Icy Manipulator. Let's go ahead and jump right in and check it out. Take a look at the deck list first of all. It's basically, the idea behind it is to kind of make sort of a straight up direct damage deck. Like, I don't win with creatures in this deck, I only win with magic damage. So we'll take a look at the cards really quickly and then we'll jump on the ladder and see if we can maybe even win a game or two. I'd say, you know, on ranked, I'm in Masters 2, it wins maybe about half the games, maybe a little bit less, it's hard to say. But it's just fun. It's just a fun deck to play. Not super serious, but hey, you gotta make the fun decks too, right? So Arcane Missiles, a little bit of early damage. Ice Lance, freezing or doing damage if they're already frozen. You can use that to lock up a big creature or do damage to a player if you want to combine that with like Frostbolt. I like to do that sometimes. Leper Gnomes, pretty good stuff. If you play them first turn and they can't deal with it and you get to do a damage with them the next turn, that ends up being like 4 damage for 1 mana minimum, unless they do something like Hex it, which would be crazy. So they can actually end up being one of the most like cost-efficient ways to do damage in the game. It's pretty crazy, but Leper Gnomes are great. Frost Nova, just to lock guys up. Basically Frost Nova, Cone of Cold, what else do we have? Blizzard, lots of stuff to just lock people up and not let their creatures attack. With this deck you don't really kill creatures per se, you just kind of stop them from hitting you. And if they do get through, I've got 2 ice barriers for 8 armor each, I've got 2 ice blocks that have saved my life many a time. Basically, it gives you an extra turn at the end of the game if you need to, and very, very often this deck goes to 10 mana. It's meant to delay and take a long time, so in that case, Ice Block is usually pretty useful. And then, of course, you got Fireball, Pyroblast to do big damage. Archmage Antonidas is nice to throw in there as well, because if you get to late game, you're going to probably be a little bit short on cards, so filling your hand with Fireballs is a good way to just close out the game. And of course Flame Strike as well. Once you whittled all their minions down with different various frost spells, do a little bit of damage here, like, you know, 1 damage from Cone of Cold, a couple damage from Blizzard. Well, that should lower everybody enough to kill them with Flame Strike more often than not, so it usually works pretty well. And what else? Oh yeah, Cold Light Oracle. I don't like letting my opponent draw cards, but remember, because most decks are based around creatures right now, it's actually okay if they draw cards, because if they put out more creatures, well, who cares? They're all going to be locked up anyway, in most games. So, in this case, Cold Light Oracles, I think, are just fine. So let's go ahead, jump onto the ladder and see what we can do. Just for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to go with unranked on this one. Don't want to go super, super serious. And who will we find on the ladder today? My MMR for unranked is about the same as it is for ranked at the moment. Been playing a lot.
Jaina versus Rexa.
Alright, looks like we've got a hunter.
Let's the hunt.
So hunters can be a little bit difficult for this deck actually, because hunters have a pretty decent amount of direct damage already. I'm tempted to keep the fireball, but I think I'm actually going to ditch it for now. See if I can maybe get something a little bit better at the moment. Ice barrier, there, perfect. Just to delay. Remember, delay, delay, delay. That's the theme of this game. And even though this deck may not win every single game, it's not as good as some of my other decks. Man, is it fun to play. It's probably the most fun I've had in this game yet. So let's see. Not a whole lot to do on first turn, so we'll just pass it over to one fat peon. We'll see what he's got for us in turn 1. I love all the little stuff you can do to mess around with it. Alright, 2 damage from the hero ability. Ah, hello, Leper Gnome. How's it going? It looks like that's probably going to be the ideal move. Can save the coin for a little bit later. So Leper Gnome it is. And remember, I mean, if they kill the Leper Gnome right away, that's actually fine, because it's still, you know, 1 mana for 2 damage, so it ends up being cost efficient. Contrast it to your hero ability, which is 2 mana for 1 damage. But then again, that's something you can do every turn. So, I've got 3 mana now. This guy only does 1 damage, so I'm not too worried about locking him up or anything like that. I'm probably just going to go ahead and trade with the Leper Gnome now, just to take a couple health off him, just in case there's any sort of buffing that's going to be involved. And I think this would be a good turn to go ahead and use the Ice Barrier. Reason being that we don't really want to use any of our AoE freezes on him, and if it's possible, it's good to save Ice Lance for when you can combo that with a Frostbolt later on, which I could do next turn if I wanted to. So, let's go ahead and do 2 damage to him. Our Leper Gnome has done its duty. And if you freeze a guy, they still block, so in this case, like, you know, Ice Lance wouldn't have helped us out there. Alright. And there it is, 8 armor exposed, so we'll be down to, what, effective 26 health? 25? I don't know, I'm terrible at math. What is it? 25, yeah. Alright. Armor is nice. So he's got 4 mana, he's got 6 cards in his hand. So what's it going to be? What are you going to bring, Fat Peon? 1 Fat Peon. Just 2 damage, alright. Oh, nope, there's a River Crocolisk. Alright. So now it's time to start locking people down, I think. And in this case, because, let's see, well, it's still only 3 damage, and we've got 5 armor. So I think what I would like to do is put down Blood Mage Thalnos. But I kind of want to keep him alive for a turn, because if I can keep these guys frozen out, then I can actually do a pretty strong combo, 9 damage next turn. So in this particular case, I'm going to go ahead and use Frost Nova. Just to see if I can delay long enough. I think the volume might be a little bit loud here. I'm going to go ahead and lower that just a second. Sounds loud in my ears anyway. If it's not loud on the video, oh well. Oh well, you don't need to hear it, you just need to see it. Blood Mage Thalnos. And I mean he's 2 for a 1/1. You get the card draw. Oh man, the Kodo. I wasn't expecting that. Oh well. That's just how it goes sometimes. So now we just start delaying. I mean, that's about it. Still got the hero power to poke away at him, so Cone of Cold it is. Everybody's locked up. And I still do have enough. You know, this might be a good opportunity. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and use the coin right here. Or do I want to? That's a good question. I think I'll go ahead and use the coin, because I do have 2 Frostbolts. So, I'll just put 3 damage onto him.
Job's done.
The idea is to slowly whittle them down over time. That's kind of the plan. So as you can see, I mean, we've got, what, 1 more turn of freezing everything, and then we can freeze guys selectively. Still have ice blocks, still have plenty of armor, so we can take a few hits from these guys too. But most likely, because of the amount of freezing and delaying I have in this deck, I'm probably going to be drawing more of it soon. Shoddy construction right there. Ah, the Buzzard. He's a bit annoying. That's a lot of card draw, but again, in most decks you really worry about card draw, but in this particular one, it's actually fine. Not to mention he's going to die to Blizzard next turn anyway. So it's okay. 5 mana. Just going to have to be content to Blizzard during this turn. This is where your opponent just gets really annoyed with you. Yeah. So all that chip damage helps out. Well, in this case, a little bit of chip damage anyway. And so, 1 Fat Peon may be getting a little bit upset with us now. We'll see. I don't have any mass freezing at the moment, so that's a bit annoying, but at the same time it's okay, because I've still got armor, and he's not going to do a ton of damage to me. Maximum of 9, which turns out to be 4 after armor, so that's okay. So I think in this case, I've got 7 mana. I think I'm going to go ahead and combo him. Just kind of hope for some good draw. Let's go ahead and use this first, just in case. Well, that's odd. Alright, Archmage Antonidas. And yeah, I'm just going to let 9 damage get through next turn. So in this case, Frostbolt to him, and then Ice Lance. I've actually got 2 ice blocks, which is crazy, because basically I'll die, my ice block will activate, and then on that turn I'll play another ice block, so I can essentially get 2 free turns. If we get to that point, which is pretty likely. Oftentimes, it gets pretty close with this deck, but I'd still say I win about half my games. Probably a little bit more on unranked and a little bit less unranked, of course, because ranked tends to be a little bit better, but I've played enough unranked now that my MMR is, it seems pretty similar on both sides. I hit a lot of the same people, and the skill of the players seems to be pretty even at this point. So again, no mass freeze. That's a bit annoying. That's a bit surprising, actually. I usually do get a bit more at this point. So I think in this case, let's see, I've got, how much damage is that? So 11 damage onto me, plus 2 for his Hunter ability, 13, so he can take me down to 11 theoretically. He could buff a little bit. I really want to do the Pyroblast. I think what I'm going to do first is Arcane Intellect to see what I can draw. Ice Barrier and Cone of Cold. Okay, great. So let's see. Let's go ahead and lock some guys up. So now he can only hit me for 1 theoretically next turn. And then I'll just put a damage onto him. Pyroblast is tempting, but I think it's going to have to wait a little bit. Generally, you don't want to wait until they're 10 health or less for Pyroblast. It's usually good to do it early on. But that's a good sign. Hunters are a bit of a challenge because there's no way to stop this 2 damage from coming through each turn. So Hunters generally do last a bit longer. Oh, Cold Light Oracle. Well, let's see. I've got 9 mana. I can still Ice Block, I can still Ice Barrier even after I Cold Light Oracle if I don't draw anything good, so I can do that. Let's see what I get. Flame Strike and Fireball. Okay. So let's go ahead and just Secret up. Take the turn to do that. And pass it over to him. So we've got 8 more health. Essentially we're still at 29, quote unquote. He can put a lot of damage onto us, but I think we're still in pretty good shape. Yeah. Should be in good shape. And next turn I can go ahead and Flame Strike too. We'll see. Flame Strike into attacking with the Oracle maybe. So that's a bit irritating. A lot of damage. What's he got? He's got 10 mana and a lot of cards. He should be able to cast something. So there's 2 Frost Novas and a Blizzard left in our deck right now. Out of 10 cards, so pretty good chance to draw those. And this is pretty normal. It looks scary, but this is how a lot of games go with this deck. Just have to see if we can pull it out. That's the excitement. Still no draw. This has been like one of the worst ones I've seen. So I think what I'm going to have to do, yeah, I'm going to have to Pyroblast him, and then next turn he'll probably deal me lethal damage. But the nice thing is that the turn after that, I'll be able to kill him with Fireball. So... oh, what's the secret? 2 damage, everybody. Well, that doesn't really matter that much because I'm going to Ice Block anyway. So let's go ahead and Pyroblast. Pyroblast. And, you know, I could use my hero ability, but let's get 2 damage. Let's do the Leper Gnome. Sick. Alright. So this turn I will die my first death. which happens a lot. Pretty typical with this deck. And then I will become Zombie DoA. There we go. So there's the Ice Block. Next turn with my hero power and my Fireball, I'll kill him. Unless he has a way to gain health, which I have not seen Hunters do yet. Actually, I'm going to Fireball him, and then I'm going to kill him with my Leper Gnome. How about that? That's really fun. See, it's a good thing he didn't have a Flare. That's why Hunters are hard as well, because they can reveal your secrets. Hunters are generally pretty tough. But one fat peon is already dead. He just doesn't know it yet. He's like, sick, look at all my creatures. Yeah. Alright, well, the last stand of one fat peon. He doesn't know what's coming. Maybe he does know what's coming, actually. He might. He might know what's coming. No, it doesn't work, buddy. I'm immune. I think he just wanted to use his mana. I think he knows what's coming. And now I kill him with my Leper Gnome. Oh yeah, I'm kind of a noob. Well, there we go.
Well played.
And that's basically it. That's kind of how the Mage deck works. Ooh, level 21. Now I'm old enough to drink. Well, Jane is anyway. Good for her. And that's about it, guys. That's the Icy Manipulator. And yeah, it's a really fun deck to play. It's not the most serious deck ever, but that's kind of how it works. I'll put the deck list up on, let's see, well, it's going to be on the Reddit thread that this video is going to be involved in, so you'll be able to see it. I'll also include a link to an image of the deck as well if you want to make it. It's a ton of fun. Try it out. I'll be back with more deck lists. Maybe I'll call this, like, DoA's decks or something like that. And, yeah.